The cost of stress can be divided into two categories, basically, the hidden costs and the apparent costs. The apparent costs, we know, accidents, illness, absenteeism, tremendous cost for corporations. However, at the same time, there are some hidden costs. Like, for example, how would you put a price on conflict management in corporations, employee dissatisfaction, underperformance, lack of creativity and productivity? These are very costly issues, both at the financial level and at the human level. Just to give you an example, globally speaking, in Switzerland, there are about reports which come up with figures like 27% of the working force being actually exhausted because of the tremendous pressure they're under. And the cost, globally speaking, in Switzerland is just under 6 billion per year. In the United States, well, the US has been reported as one of the most stressed countries in the world, actually, where 57% of the workforce reports being frequently highly stressed. So you can imagine what that means in illnesses, underperformance, dissatisfaction, and another point which is also very important is that stress is communicative. In other words, what happens in the workplace affects the private lives, and what happens in the homes has an effect in the workplace. So it's a very important issue to tackle and to keep under control.
You talk about cooperation, which is a very good transition, actually. What can you tell us about work-related stress? Is there any trends and innovation in this field?
Yes, certainly. A few years ago, organizations had the impression that stress management was the responsibility of the individual. But with time, they realized that this was a very important issue that not only affected the individual, but also the organization, the productivity, and so on and so forth. So forward-looking organizations now are providing employees with workshops, with educational programs, seminars, physical activity programs in the workplace, and all that is very important. It's essential. However, there are certain stressors which cannot only be dealt with at the individual level. They have to be dealt with at what I would call the organizational level. In other words, it's very important to pinpoint what stressors are caused by the professional work. How is the work organized in the teams? What are the elements that need to be improved, like communication, work organization, leadership management issues, etc., etc. Now, this is a very important trend. This is innovative, and this is what we focus on. We have a model, we have an approach, a scientific approach, which helps us identify the sources of stress, which are deleterious for the team, for the individual, and also for the organization. We provide leaders with a profile of what they can do in order to bring up performance, find the right equilibrium between performance and pressure, so that it ends up in a win-win situation where the individual wins, the teams win, and so does the organization.
Dr. Mina Michal, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
This interview is in partnership with American International Club. Thanks for being with us.